Team 3, roll out.
Good morning, everyone. We are Backfire. Backfire is a game where it's a speedrunning platformer game and you move through with your gun as well as shooting enemies with it as well, making your combat and movement one and the same. Dodge obstacles, interact with your environment, and kill all enemies in order to beat our game. Throughout our presentation, we'll show you how to blast through our digital world taking place on your computer.
I'm Chris, an artist.
I'm Ida, the producer and programmer.
I'm Mason, a programmer.
I'm Matthias, the sound designer.
I'm Oliver, a programmer.
I'm Olivia, an artist.
And here is our game.
So, the core mechanics of Backfire are a quick way to learn. You click, you shoot, you move. However, the more sophisticated elements take skill to learn. You can chain your momentum to parry, to dodge, to maneuver around the map, to create a truly smooth experience. When you are having trouble though, you can rend time to a grinding halt, allowing a brief moment of respite so you can plan the best next move. However, this takes time and you want to get through the level as quick as possible. We will now present a quick demo.
The concept of our game was created by combining two of our previous ideas, a fast-paced clicking game with simple graphics and a unique movement system, and a fast-paced action bullet hell. We took key concepts of both games in order to create Backfire as it is today.
Pre-interim presentations, we had two worlds, a vibrant cyberpunk city and a grayscale alien spaceship, both containing colorful obstacles, interactables, and enemies.
Our original game plan had you playing as a robot fighting off alien invaders in 4 different worlds. We really wanted to emphasize the difference between all our worlds and implemented obstacles and interactables special to them, such as having gravity fields and low gravity in our space world. We also really wanted to just have a lot of new things going on in each level to give the game our more replayability as well as just make it more fun for the player.
For the sound design, right away we jumped into making some music inspired by things such as Katana Zero and Neon White with the speedrunning aspect. This, unfortunately, I don't believe plays because this slideshow is not working correctly, but it's the same song you heard in the demo, so you already heard.
However, after our interims, we received some very valuable feedback on our coherency and also the game identity of Backfire. Because of this, we decided to take a step back as a team and really sit down and discuss what our vision was for the game, which we sooner found out was pretty different amongst all of our team members. Because of this, we had many group discussions ranging from seeing each other from 9 a.m. all the way until 10 p.m. into the night, just really talking about what we wanted our game to be, discussing our color scheme for even more than an hour. And this is our great revision, and we changed a lot of our game.
After realizing the importance of alignment, me and our team has taken the whole weekend to rediscuss about the game topic. We delve deeper into the topic such as color palette, visual guidelines, and moreover, the identity. Starting from that, we came up with an identity that we are all proud of. With clarity and excitement, we press on.
After finalizing our design, we were able to start laying down a track. This included planning out all of our levels in Microsoft Paint, which you will see very soon, and making it so the environment is truly responsive and feels like a digital world.
In order to create a coherent visual guidelines, we created a concept scene and a clear color palette.
Now, as we move forward with this new art style, you can see some of our visual development here. So on the top, we have our original pre-interim, some of our assets. So you can see the player, a saw blade, and some of the ground. Now, these are all pretty detailed, but sometimes don't go together the best. Whereas you can see on the bottom, after we simplified things down and really focused on what we wanted, we were able to combine things into assets that, no matter what they were, play or obstacle, ground, go together effectively.
Now, one of the problems that we said was having a static image shoot at you was kind of boring. So we animated all of our enemies and gave them sophisticated behaviors. For example, the passive enemies will actually flee when you try and approach them. But the flying shooter enemies will dive bomb you, shoot you in 4 directions before retreating to cool down and reload. For the player movement, we decided that the player movement it felt like you were floating in an ocean. So we did some research on how guns actually worked and the physics behind recoil. We also used a Desmos math function to dynamically recalculate the zoom of the camera based on how fast you're going. Finally, or not finally, for the gameplay, we wanted to introduce the mechanics gradually. So you won't see a wind shoot and a laser in level 1. You were slowly brought these concepts on so you can learn them more proficiently.
So for our level design, we as a team decided that we really wanted to make all of this very catered for our gameplay and the player, ensuring them they have the best experience possible. We drew multiple sketches ahead of time, implementing all the obstacles and interactables as well as enemies we wanted to have in each level, where and when. Because of this, we were able to visualize our gameplay long before we even started actually having the levels in-game. And we also made many iterations of it while we were making it in-game as well, because we had some sizing and scaling issues, and we retiled a lot.
Throughout the levels, we set various interactables in order to make more dynamic levels. For example, we have laser gates in order to guide the player, bouncy pads in order to have wacky movement, and saws to act as obstacles. Without these, our game would be much more static and boring without them.
Now, take a look at Colonel, the final boss. A contaminated AI that turns into, a contaminated AI that turns into a virus inside the processing matrix. So his design language in the arena is in an octagon, which gives him space to move, rotate, and apply skills such as gravity changes. So he has a full set of animation, from idle to a 360 laser spin. All the animations are designed with intentions. The fight needs to be excited, fast-paced, and at the same time learnable. With visual telegraphs and the attack pacing rhythm, he is more than just a boss, but a glitch in the system.
So the 2 abilities the player can take advantage of are the parry and the time freeze ability. Both of these slow down the game in order to give you time to think. This is good, however, the goal of the game is to beat the game in the best time, so players will eventually have to learn to go without them. Also, if they become too greedy and use these for too long, the game will backfire on you, and the player itself will be disabled for a short amount of time.
To establish visual cues, we made sure that each ability had different colors. For example, the parry has a red triangle when it fails, and yellow stars when it's successful.
The UI was created to be sleek, receptive, and responsive, and similar to our game.
The UI needs to be with clear feedback for the player, but at the same time to not be too much distracting. So they need to be designed to be crisp, synthetic, and at the same time satisfying.
Now, as we moved into the final stages of creating more of the music and sounds, we started to draw inspiration for the music from even sounds such as a death note unexpectedly. So as you can hear here, menu theme, pretty crazy. And of course, we need some feedback for when you master a level as you naturally will, as you're so incredibly talented. So you get a little wind jingle, and then you can see we also have some sound effects that we made. We have made a bunch of sound effects. We ended up having to redo a lot of them with the retheming after interims, but ended up making it a lot more cohesive in the sound as well, and just making everything sound a lot more complete overall. So for example, the sound of an enemy dying, which you can barely hear, the sound of running out of time on your time zone overheating, and the sound of parrying a bullet. Now, as you can see here, we went through some tough times. Things were not always good, things were not always normal, things were sometimes strange, or even bad, one might say. However, all this forged our hearts to become only stronger and greater, to surpass any challenges that we may have had to come across, which we came across a lot, and we conquered them all, definitely.
Yeah. Hoorah!
So our biggest takeaway from this game is that we really should have sat down and concretized our vision for the game sooner, as I think everyone had slightly different ideas of what we wanted the game to look like. However, we were able to fix this and edit on it because we had so many team meetings and great discussions, and everyone really participated and contributed ideas, which led us to make a game in the end that everyone's very happy with and proud of. Thank you so much for listening.